Hello, hello, hello. I am Gigi La Chicana Guerrero. I did not plan to go on live on this Friday night at 10:34 p.m. May 1st, 2026. But I was thinking, how do I want to honor my dad's birthday, which is May 2nd, in a couple of hours? Normally, around our household, Papi's birthday was the biggest thing there was to celebrate. So I want to celebrate it like we used to, make it big. Well, I mean, as big as I can make it here. My father, Juan Guerrero, Los Chicanos, passed on March 12th, 2022. He was born May 2nd, 1948, to Juan, to Pedro and Maria Guerrero, my grandma, my grandpa. Born and raised in Mission, Texas. He was very proud of that. And so now, as I continue his legacy and honor his work on earth, uh, I remain true to his beloved city, our beloved city that we all grew up in, that we all went to school in, which is Mission, Texas. Um, so, part of honoring my dad is we're very proud to say that when I created the Tejano Music Legacy Foundation, um, the nonprofit, I had planned to honor the pioneers of Tejano, which was included my dad. But things change and doors close, and so other ones open. And I believe God guides me to where I'm going. So I'm okay with whatever doors were closed because I know that it was a divine intervention. So in Mission, Texas, we're proud to say that we have already voted on two scholarship recipients, uh, $500 each scholarship, one for Veterans Memorial High School in Mission, and the other one for Mission High School. And those will be delivered through the award ceremony, official award ceremony for Mission School District. We're also, the Tejano Music Legacy Foundation is also working on a festival. And since Tejano was a baby of Conjunto, the festival is called Tejunto, right? Putting them together. Tejunto, play on words like Tejunto, Tejunto Conjunto, y Tejunto Tejano. Tejunto. Um, and I'm going back to my dad's stories of when he was a kid, he loved music, and what they would do is go to the aficionados, and aficionados were talent shows that were held locally. Hi, Veronica. How are you? So, and that's how a lot of artists got their start here in the Valley, here in Mission, was going to the aficionados, and that's how people got to know them. And they started getting gigs and getting more popular, and then going to go record with Falcon Records or whatever record, label was available at the time. So it's very, very rich history. I love to hear my dad talk about his stories. Um, and so I'm honoring him today by playing his music and just chit chatting with you guys. Hi, Belen. Happy heavenly birthday to my father. Yes, thank you. It's it's been since 2022, and the pain is still there. I guess haces callo, and you get used to the pain. I guess that's how it works. I'm not sure how it works. Um, I don't cry as much as often. Um, I get myself busy. Hi, Mr. Zimmerly, how are you? I get busy with everything that I'm doing, with the podcast, with the which was Giras y Desveladas originally was for the legends to talk about their past and their part in creating this onda, which was amazing to me. I mean, I had heard my dad's side of it, and my dad had an amazing memory, and he knew so much music, and he knew the music from Mexico, and he knew how it had been used to combine with the music from, from the United States, the American culture, jazz, rock, the Beatlemania, the Monkees, and all that. And he's just a brilliant man. And so I'm here today to honor my father. Happy birthday to your dad. Thank you, Mr. Zimmerly. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. You honor me with your presence here today. And all of you, Belen and Veronica, thank you. Like I said, I didn't plan to do a show, but how do I honor my dad? I am blessed with having this platform. And so that's what I'm using it for, to say happy birthday to Papi in the best way. So I'm going to start by a lot of people that don't know my dad's music. Hi, Brenda. Saludos. I didn't plan for anybody to be on, so thank you for coming in. And really, I'm not much of a planner. I'm a very last minute person. So here I am doing a last minute show to honor my dad and to honor the music. Mr. Rosendez, how are you? Happy heavenly birthday to Mr. Guerrero. Thank you. Thank you so much. And so here I am. I wanted to do something. A lot of people don't know what my dad did. And simply because my dad wasn't the type to go around bragging. He wasn't a braggart. He never said, yo compuse esta canción, yo hice esa, me. He wasn't like that. And so, people simply didn't know unless you actually knew him and knew his work. And actually, funny story, I'm sure I've told it before, that and of course, for those of you that might not know, I'm sure when Elsa Garcia recorded Ya Te Vi, it just so happens that the engineer that was at that recording studio was Steve Lanphier. Steve Lanphier was part of Los Fabulosos Cuatro when my dad was with Los Fabulosos Cuatro. And so when they asked who wrote the song, the story is, I'm not sure, and I haven't corroborated this with Elsa herself, so I'm going to just leave that to, maybe she did say it, maybe she didn't, but they were going to do a DAR. They didn't know who the writer was. But Steve Lanphier was there, and he said that song was written by Juan Guerrero. And so that's how that song got properly credited to Juan Guerrero. Hello, Noel Hernandez. Hello, my tia. Oh, happy birthday too. Thank you, tia. My tia Lupita Maria Ruiz. So that's what I'm doing today. I'm gonna be playing I'm not a DJ. I'm not a VJ DJ. But I play one on on the internet for my show when I play our artists' videos. So I figured, pues I'll do the same with my dad. And so I'm gonna go on here. I guess I'll share it with you. Because he did a lot. So let me see. I'm gonna go on YouTube and just show you how. Just I go on YouTube and just search Chicanos, and there you can see. I just watch and listen to everything. Everything comes up here. Chicanos. So I'm gonna go with the first one.
Cuando te fuiste nunca pensé que tardarías tanto en volver. Con ansias locas te espero aquí. Sabes que solo te quiero a ti. A veces pienso que nunca vendrás, a veces pienso que me traerás. Será amor, será olvido, yo solo quiero vivir contigo. No te me vayas, linda mujer, no te me vayas, dame tu querer. No te me vayas, linda mujer, no te me vayas, dame tu querer. Cuando te fuiste nunca pensé que tardarías tanto en volver. Con ansias locas te espero aquí, sabes que solo te quiero a ti. A veces pienso que nunca vendrás, a veces pienso que me traerás. Será amor o será olvido, yo solo quiero vivir contigo. No te me vayas, linda mujer, no te me vayas, dame tu querer. No te me vayas, linda mujer, no te me vayas, dame tu querer.
And that was Falcon Records, No Te Me Vayas, Linda Mujer. And this one, Vuela Mariposa. Oh my goodness.
Vuela, 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 linda mariposa. Vuela, 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 linda mariposa. Mariposa vas volando rama en rama sin haber quien te detenga. Y destrozas una flor o destrozas un amor. Vas rompiendo corazones sin haber quien te detenga. Lo que hiciste con mi vida, te perdono, lo pasado no se puede remediar. Cuídate de algún amor, no te vayan a atrapar, de esas trampas no te podrás escapar. Ya no vueles, mariposa, que después vas a llorar. Vuela, 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 linda mariposa. Vuela, 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 linda mariposa. Mariposa vas volando rama en rama sin haber quien te detenga. Y destrozas una flor o destrozas un amor, vas rompiendo corazones sin haber quien te detenga. Lo que hiciste con mi vida, te perdono, lo pasado no se puede remediar. Cuídate de algún amor, no te vayan a atrapar, de esas trampas no te podrás escapar. Ya no vueles más. mariposa, que después vas a llorar.
I wanted to mention something to everyone that's watching, that these songs were actually included maybe about 20 years ago into the Our Holies Foundation, the Structurets Frontera collection of Mexican American studies and recordings at UCLA. This was about 20 years ago. Since then, they have added more music, but one of the first collections was my dad's collection of music. Let's see, my dear, those songs you're playing are new to me, but they're beautiful songs. Thank you. Yeah, they're new to a lot of people. A lot of people never really got to hear Papi's music. And so that's part of what I've decided to do, is make sure people hear Papi's songs. This one is a video I made. I just used video from when I went to Las Vegas for my birthday, but this is a song that was recorded at Freddie Records.
You installed this?
Even had a few screws left over.
And I just used my video and added the music because I have no rights to it. All right, there we go. Rumores.
Se escuchan rumores, no sé qué pensar. La gente platica que mañana te vas y que no es cierto. Dime que mienten, que no tienen razón, que son rumores, algo sin fundación y que no es cierto. Porque me miras con mirada fatal, si acaso es cierto que mañana te vas, ya estoy llorando. Dime qué hago, di qué quieres de mí, si ya te he dado todo lo que hay en mí y te sigo amando. No lloraré, no lloraré cuando te vayas, no lloraré, porque si ya estás decidida y no te importa verme sufriendo, entonces vete, salte de mi vida, aunque mi corazón se esté muriendo.
And that was Rumores. All of the songs that I'm playing are original songs of Juan Guerrero that he has written. So just throwing that in there. ¿Qué más? ¿Qué más? ¿Qué más? Oh, here we go. Now I'm going back and forth. Obviously, my dad has a lot of his catalog is huge. I've been recording since the '60s, so it's one of our favorites.
Dame, 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 dame mi vida, dame, dame más amor. Que no me quede desespero mi vida si no me das tu calor. Dame, 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 dame mi vida, dame, dame más amor. Que no me quede desespero mi vida si no me das tu calor. Quiero que me des 30 besos con tu boca de coral. Quiero que me des 30 abrazos, te quiero amar. A veces te miro y nunca te puedo hablar. Quise darte un ratito mi vida para platicar. A veces te miro y nunca te puedo hablar. Quise darte un ratito mi vida para platicar. Quiero que me des 30 besos con tu boca de coral. Quiero que me des 30 abrazos, te quiero amar. Quiero que me des 30 besos con tu boca de coral. Quiero que me des 30 abrazos, te quiero amar.
Another one of the archive music from our Holy Music. For those of you that have come in, thank you so much. I see Chono on here and I see Paul Westbrook. You guys knew my dad. Thank you for coming in here. Chono, let's do Los Mandrills because Chono was part of the Mandrills. So, and for those of you that don't know, Los Mandrills were this band from Mission, Texas, who had a singer by the name of Oscar Villarreal. And Oscar Villarreal wrote a song called Amor Imposible. And Amor Imposible became a huge hit. And according to Falcon Records, Arnaldo Ramirez, who I interviewed, said no one had ever done as big of a hit, has gotten as big of a hit as Los Mandrills till that time. And they were planning a tour of Puerto Rico because Puerto Rico really wanted them, really wanted Los Mandrills. So there was a tour set up, una gira, but they had one more gig to go to. But Papi and Oscar were part of Hermanos Banda, and they had a gig, and sadly, there was an accident, and El Muchacho de Oro, Oscar Villarreal, did not make it, and his song then was then recorded by Rigo Tovar, and Rigo Tovar, it became a worldwide hit with Rigo Tovar, Amor Imposible, but it was Oscar Villarreal from Mission, Texas, that actually made that song. So let's hear that. It's Oscar Villarreal.
Aunque yo sé que tu amor y mi amor fueron un imposible, yo sé que tendré que sufrir la ausencia de tus besos. Y desde que tú te alejaste, me hace falta tu calor. Jamás podré olvidarte, porque eres mi único amor. Desde que tú te alejaste, me hace falta tu calor. Es imposible olvidarte. Eres mi único amor.
That's my dad and Oscar Villarreal.
Sin amor y sin consuelo, voy vagando entre la gente. Es imposible olvidarte, porque te llevo en mi mente. Tu amor y mi amor fueron un imposible. Yo sé que tu amor no ha de ser para mí. Jamás en la vida hallarás el consuelo de un amor que te sepa comprender.
My dad and Oscar Villarreal.
Desde que tú te alejaste, me hace falta tu calor. Es imposible olvidarte. Eres mi único amor. Eres mi único amor.
My dad never really got over his death. They were raised like brothers, and my dad was very close. They were very close, and so my dad actually couldn't really talk about Oscar Villarreal until many many years later, when I was like in middle school, when he first was able to talk about Oscar Villarreal, and it was a big tragedy. So a lot of the songs, and looking back, a lot of the songs that my dad wrote were very sad songs, but he something really tragic happened to them. Not only was his best friend killed, but so was their dream, and so it was something that I'm sure that marked my dad for the rest of Los Chicanos' career. Let me see if there's something else from Los Mandrills. The with Los Mandrills también, my dad wrote, I believe this is the first song he wrote that got recorded. And yep. Let's see. So I don't know who, but by the way, there's so many people that put up my dad's music and Los Mandrills music, and there's no way for me to wrangle all that in. It's just too many. Like, you can put Chicanos on YouTube, and man, you can be going for days. And that's just only the stuff that he actually was credited for. There's another world of music that he wasn't credited for, that he created. So let's see.
Tengo una cita con Marilu. No lo podía creer, pero ahora puedo ver que eres tú. Oh Marilu, siempre serás tú. En esa cita con Marilu, yo me daré valor y le hablaré de amor. Oh Marilu, siempre serás tú. Si ella me quiere, yo la amaré. Si no me deja, jamás la dejaré. Tengo una cita con Marilu. No lo podía creer, pero ahora puedo ver que eres tú. Oh Marilu, siempre serás tú. En esa cita con Marilu, yo me daré valor y le hablaré de amor. Oh Marilu, siempre serás tú. Si ella me quiere, yo la amaré. Si no me deja, jamás la dejaré.
All right, that was the first song, if I'm not mistaken, the first song that my dad's that was recorded. That was my dad wrote that song, which is my sister's name is Marilu. So go figure. Um, so those of you that are coming in or coming in later, I'm just doing a happy heavenly birthday to my dad. Um, his birthday is May 2nd. He was born May 2nd, 1948. He would have been 78 years old. But we lost him at 73 years old. Let me see. All right, that was there's a lot of other stuff from the Mandras if you're interested in their music. Right now it's my dad also actually, when he first passed, somebody from Los Hermanos Banda sent me a recording where my dad was a saxophone player, and my dad actually recorded. It was his first actual recording. Was playing saxophone. So I didn't even know that. And of course, he was a kid. I was nowhere, what do they call it? I was just a twinkle in his eye. I was nowhere near existence yet. But yeah. And my dad was just, born with music in his veins. And like I tell you, some of the sad songs that we had. I don't know if I want to. Yeah. Why not? Now the thing is, let me tell you, when Papi was gone, in sus giras, and we were at home, and back then there was no FaceTime, there was no cell phones, there was nothing like that we could communicate. And so once Papi was gone, we couldn't see him. We couldn't hear from him. We didn't know if he was okay. Um, and I think that's why it hits me so hard, because I was la chiona. I was the crybaby that would cry from the time Papi drove off until he came. I would cry because he was back, and I was just a mess all the time that my daddy was gone. Um, I remember my mom sometimes would get se desesperaba, and uh, she would call to find, like, maybe I remember one specific time I had a bad dream about my dad, and I was inconsolable. No me podía consolar, and mom was desperate. She didn't know what to do. She was afraid I was gonna, you know, blow a gasket or something. I don't know. My mom was concerned, and I still remember it. It was that bad of a dream, and I was just so scared for my dad that something might have happened to him. So my mom knew what hotel they were going to be at, and where they were playing. I think at that time he was in California, and so she finally got a hold of him um, at the hotel, and I think it was during a break while he was playing, and or he was playing nearby. I don't remember much of the details. I was very little, um, and uh, and she finally got a hold of him por milagro. And that time, believe me, it was a milagro to get a hold of somebody. And there was always, remember, it was collect calls, and you can just call directly, and it was calling to a hotel. Mom made a miracle. I don't know how she did it, but mom was able to find Papi, and Papi got on the phone, and that's all I needed. I just needed to hear that Papi was okay. And mija, aquí estoy bien, I'm fine. Stop crying. You're worrying your mom, and I'll be home soon. Don't worry about me. I'm fine. I can take care of myself. Like, he was telling me that he could take care of himself. I remember that very clearly, what he was telling me. And so I calmed down. So that's why I think, as time goes on, that he's been gone, that I relive those traumatic experiences that I had as a little girl, as a big time daddy's girl. I mean, my life was I love mom, of course. I love mom, and we'll talk about mom and our Mother's Day special. But mom was something super special. Mom, I don't know how she did it and raised 3 kids basically on her own, because Papi was always gone, on his giras and desveladas. So, and mom was able to hold down the fort, and she was always very proud. Nobody ever broke a bone, and everybody stayed alive. So, she did good, and she did really. I have for all 3 of us, and we're all very close in age. And she held down the fort while Papi was gone. So I had a very special mom, very special, understanding mom. And so, not to say that I didn't love my mom. Of course I did. But I was a daddy's girl, big time daddy's girl. So before I start crying again, now this is one of the songs that we used to listen to called Estamos Chie Chie. And sometimes it was just me, and sometimes it was me, my sister Mary Lou, and my brother Juanito. All of us chie chie, missing my dad, terribly. And this song would make it worse. So if you feel like crying, you're gonna cry with this song. Just listen to the words. Listen to the words. Niño, from 1974. Falcon Records.
Quiero que conozcas de un padre amor. Ella se alejó, mi niño se llevó, cuenta no se dio del mal que nos causó. Niño, quiero yo verte otra vez. Si algún día volviera, yo sé perdonar. Niño, qué alegría, qué felicidad. Niño, pide al cielo que vuelva tu mamá, porque solo así podremos conocer la felicidad.
All right. My dad made some good, happy songs too, not mean good songs. Uh, so as you can see, I'm scrolling through here through YouTube. I don't know who these people are. Tejano Maniac put out a mix of Juan Guerrero Los Chicanos. Uh, YouTube made a Juan Guerrero Los Chicanos uh, page. Frontera, porque eres bueno. Oh, this is from the Frontera collection. Let's see. Trying to find this. All right, so this one, if I'm not mistaken, when I met A.B. Quintanilla, he didn't think or believe me who I was. And I said, well, I'm Juan Guerrero's daughter. And he said, what Juan Guerrero? You know, what Juan Guerrero? Because apparently, sadly, some people are named Juan Guerrero, but they're not Juan Guerrero of Los Chicanos. And they play themselves off as Juan Guerrero. We knew this about this. We knew about this many years ago. Many years ago. I would say since I started playing in the band about 30 years ago, over 30 years ago, we had heard that people would say that they were Juan Guerrero, but they weren't Juan Guerrero. They weren't, or maybe they were a Juan Guerrero, but they weren't Los Chicanos Juan Guerrero. And so when I met A.B. Quintanilla, was Abraham. I had made Abraham with, my dad had introduced me to Abraham Quintanilla one time over there in Alice. And I was watching Laura Canales sing. And my dad had played with Laura Canales in Los Fabulosos Cuatro. And I just remember, if any of you saw or heard Laura Canales sing live, that was just another experience totally. And those are people that bring up the debate of who was the queen, Laura or Selena. There's no comparison. It's apples and oranges, because Selena was the queen for her era and for her time and for what she did. And Laura Canales was the original, the female that came on the scene and just for Tejano. Of course, there was Lidia Mendoza before her, but not the same because Lidia Mendoza kind of went her way with her guitar, and this Laura Canales andaba en la onda con los músicos, and that was totally unheard of. She literally was a pioneer. So sí es la reina de la onda tejana. Selena es la reina in her own way. I mean, no se le quita, but there was a lot of canales. Anyway, I heard them. I heard her live, and so anyway, I'm meeting AB Quintanilla, and I wonder if he remembers. And he says, "Esta es la hija de Juan Guerrero," and AB goes, "What Juan Guerrero?" And I remembered right away. So many people claim to be my dad. So I said, Los Chicanos. He's like, what? The real Juan Guerrero? I said, yeah, the real Juan Guerrero. And so he started singing this song.
All the sweet candy babies everywhere. Yeah! Candy baby, he notado que el amor que tú me has dado es sincero. Y me gusta que me digas muy cerquita al oído, yo te quiero. Quiero estar dentro de ti, muy cerca de tu corazón y ahí quedarme. Candy baby, sabes bien que tu calor vas a matarme. Y desde que te conocí, toda mi vida ha cambiado y me siento enamorado. Candy, déjame vivir contigo, te doy todo lo que tengo, todo a cambio de nada. Quiero estar dentro de ti, muy cerca de tu corazón y ahí quedarme. Candy baby, sabes bien que si me quitas tu calor vas a matarme. Desde que te conocí, toda mi vida ha cambiado y me siento enamorado. Ven, déjame vivir contigo, te doy todo lo que tengo, todo a cambio de nada.
And that was Sweet Candy Baby, and so when I met AB Quintanilla, he had heard of my dad, and he had heard that song. He liked that song. Another song that he started singing to me was this one. Let me find it. Then he started singing this one.
Como pajaritos formando nuevo nido, así somos tú y yo. Juntitos andamos, nunca nos separamos, nunca tú y yo. Como pajaritos cantando felices, nunca hay dolor. Nada nos molesta y nada nos cuesta gozar nuestro amor. Así nos dicen siempre todos. Te quiero a ti de todos modos. Nacimos uno para el otro, tú y yo. Así nos dicen siempre todos. Te quiero a ti de todos modos. Nacimos uno para el otro, tú y yo. Como pajaritos formando nuevo nido, así somos tú y yo. Nada nos molesta y nada nos cuesta gozar nuestro amor. Lovebirds, así nos dicen siempre todos. Lovebirds, te quiero a ti de todos modos. Lovebirds, nacimos uno para el otro, tú y yo. Lovebirds, así nos dicen siempre todos. Lovebirds, te quiero a ti de todos modos. Lovebirds, nacimos uno para el otro, tú y yo.
So that was another song that A.B. Quintanilla liked from Juan Guerrero, and so I was stunned by that, and but it was also very cool that A.B. Quintanilla knew my dad's music, so that was cool. So those of you that are joining later, or even now live, my dad's birthday is May 2nd, and it'll be May 2nd in about 30 minutes, 32 minutes to be exact. He left us on March 12th of 2022. It was a wrongful death. I will say that now that it's been 4 years. I can finally say it. It's been very painful to say, but it was a wrongful death. Decisions were made by people that were not supposed to be making decisions. People that did not know his medical history. People that did not know his circumstance, and had no business making decisions on my father's life. But due to those decisions that were made, my dad did pass away. I was told by several people that I should sue But I was too heartbroken to sue. We were too heartbroken to sue. Uh, it was messy. It got real messy real quick. There's things that happened before and after my dad's death that didn't make sense. And so we were left with a lot of questions that sadly my dad could no longer answer. So, anybody who, I mean, of course, I know any of you who've lost, if you've lost your mom, if you lost your dad, you know what I'm going through. But it's even like a little bit worse when it wasn't a natural death, when it wasn't expected, when it wasn't, uh, there wasn't full disclosure and there wasn't other underlying issues that made things really, really suspicious. And that's all I'm going to say about that because there's no point. It's not going to bring him back. All I can do is honor him, honor what he did on this earth, continue what he did. He wrote a lot of songs. A lot of songs went completely viral in other genres, not just Tejano. But he left a lot of songs too. So I do plan, and I know I keep saying it, but it's believe me, it's tough to do. I have to organize my dad's music and categorize it and all that, and that means listening to his voice, and that is a tough thing to do. Hi, Anna. Thank you so much. So it's a tough thing to do, to be listening to my dad's voice and listening to songs that never got recorded, never got, he had a studio in his home. So, and they're very professionally done. They're complete, he did everything. He played the guitar, he did the vocals, main vocals, segundiando. He did the bass, he did the keyboards, he do the drums. My dad played the accordion. My dad played everything. When I say that my dad was a musical genius, I'm not messing. And I'm not overhyping him. It's just a fact. And you can listen to his music. For those of you that know anything about music and maybe can tell, a lot of that music is not your ordinary music. It's not your ordinary music. It wasn't your 1, 2, 3 compás. It wasn't. It never was. Papi couldn't do that. To him, that was boring. To him, it was dreadful. As a matter of fact, sometimes he would help out some bands that maybe only did conjunto, and he didn't. It's just that he was so creative that he got bored really quick. So for him, the night would last a very long time. If he was helping out a band that played very basic music, he got bored really quick. Why? Because he just had so much more music in his head that could fit. And that was my dad. He always had music. That was all our house was about, music. There's instruments everywhere, strewn all over the place. We just got rid of the truck we used to use, because I played with my dad for over 30 years, since 1991, and my sister since 1989, my brother since 1986. We were on the band. That's what we did. That was our side gig, always helping out the family, helping out the band. That's what we did. And whether we did other things, we had other jobs, of course. When there was a gig, there was a gig, and that was it. And we had to do it. It was backing up my dad, backing up the family. So that's what we did. Whether we were in relationships or not, whether we were pregnant or not, whether we had a job or not, whatever was going on in our lives, when Los Chicanos had a gig, we were there. So, whether we were going to school, whatever was going on. This has a history. This song was first recorded in, I would say, either 71 or 74. It might say on the record. this was one of their big hits with Los Chicanos on Falcon Records. It traveled all over the United States. But then Ramon Ayala recorded that song too, and it got very popular with him as well. My dad wrote it, and after that, that's when history happened. And I'll tell you in a little bit. Let's listen to this song. Oh, I made this recording, but it has great pictures. Let me find a better recording. And just to mention, I've always been doing this. I mean, that video I put out, man, I don't even remember. I mean, I've always been promoting Los Chicanos, because I'm biggest fan. My family, my sister were his biggest fans. So we've been doing this for a long time, and that I was just barely learning how to put a video together, or even trying to put music with pictures, and no me salió muy bien. So let me find a better sound recording of that. Of course, I love the pictures that are on here. I need to fix that. I just haven't gotten around to it. Hold on. Here we go. Okay, the sound on here is a little better.
¿Qué más quieres, corazón? ¿Qué más quieres, corazón? ¿Qué más quieres, corazón? Si a todo te lo he dado, ya me siento muy cansado de tratar de complacerte. Mejor me pongo a beber, y cuando esté muy tomado y que todo haya olvidado, otra vez vendré a rogar. Necesito una mujer que me quiera más que tú y que no vaya a querer las cosas que pides tú. ¿Qué más quieres, corazón? Si a todo te lo he dado, y aunque me siento cansado, otra vez vendré a rogar. ¿Qué más quieres, corazón? ¿Qué más quieres, corazón? ¿Qué más quieres, corazón? Si a todo te lo he dado, ya me siento muy cansado de tratar de complacerte, pero me pongo a beber, y cuando esté muy tomado y que todo haya olvidado, otra vez vendré a rogar. Necesito una mujer que me quiera más que tú y que no no vaya a pedir las cosas que quieres tú. ¿Qué más quieres, corazón? Si ya todo te lo he dado, y aunque me siento cansado, otra vez vendré a rogar.
And that was another Our Holy Foundation Strachwitz from Data Collection, Mexican American and Mexican recordings. And they got a hold of my dad's music over 20 years ago. It was one of the first collections that they started. They have more now, but my dad's music was one of the first ones. I want to give a shout out to Los Chicanos of the past that I can recall. Of course, Beto Garza, Roy Garza, Albino Diaz, Lalo Vasquez. I don't know, sometimes I'm just going to remember the names of what Papi called them. Tiny, and Pacho, who passed away with Todos los Traviesos in that accident del hermano de Valde Muñoz. See who else. Johnny Herrera. Drummers, Johnny Herrera and Sam Lopez and La Sica. My dad called him the Sica. I don't remember. ¿Quién más? Joe Escalante. Joe Escalante was the one who actually did the accordion on the records on Hacienda, on the Hacienda label over there in Corpus Christi. ¿Quién más? Chono Gomez was part of Los Mandrills. Joel Guin, drummer también, Joel Guin. My memories fail me now, but to all those people that were part of our lives, or part of Los Chicanos, you know, they were part of our family, you know, and because that's what you become, and you just it's a different lifestyle to be a musician, to be risking your lives on the road con todos tus hermanos, you know, and so you become endeared with all the with the musicians because they're, you know, they're part of your life on a fairly regular basis. Si no están grabando, están ensayando, o están en gira, and so they become part of your life. So all those people that I mentioned are people that are close to our heart. We love them very much. Porque eran parte de nuestra vida in one way or another, you know, part of our lives, because they were part of my dad's life. Other musicians that were not part of Los Chicanos, but they were either, whether Papi sometimes would help out other bands, sometimes Los Chicanos were on a break. One of those times was Los Fabulosos Cuatro, and so Juan Hinojosa, Armando Chori Hinojosa, Steve Lanphier that I've mentioned, Mandito Lagarza, Ernie, the drummer, all those guys were part of my dad's life, and so they become part of our lives. You know, we intertwine our lives. Laura Canales, my dad, my brother would go as roadie and sometimes sound and sometimes just helping out, but he would end up as a unplanned. He would be he would help out Laura Canales kind of like her security. He always thought it was real funny because era bien mandona, you know, Juanito, I need to go to the restroom, vámonos. And he loved it. He loved her, and he loved it. And those are beautiful memories to have. Uh, Lots of them are gone. Another close friend of my dad was Snowball. Snowball was at our house all the time. Ahí andaba. And she'd show up just, vamos a hacer unas serenatas. And they'd go and my dad was not the kind to be outgoing like that. He wouldn't just, he was not the outgoing type like that. It would take somebody like Snowball to come and force him out of his house and go play serenatas. And of course, he enjoyed it, but he literally had to be forced out of there. So those are beautiful stories that are stay in my head, in my mind, in my heart for always. Uh, es todo lo que hay, fotos y recuerdos. Right? Así es. To all the musicians out there that are listening and have never heard Los Chicanos, for some reason or another, I mean, listen to the music. Listen to music from the 70s. Even it's still advanced in consideration to a lot of music that you hear today. Uh, because my dad was like that. Um, he loved music, and that's all I can say really about that. I'm gonna play one of my favorites that I love, De Papi. I used to listen to when I was a little kid. It's a sad song. Here we go, cause Gigi likes sad songs.
Mi corazón quiere querer una mujer que lo sepa amar. Cuántas caras he visto pasar y ninguna me gustó. Cuántos amores pude tener, pero ya nada quedó. Mi corazón quiere un amor, una ilusión, no puede hallar. Mi corazón quiere querer una mujer que lo sepa amar. Cuántas caras he visto pasar y ninguna me gustó. Cuántos amores pude tener, pero ya nada quedó. Mi corazón tiene un amor,
That was Caras from Los Chicanos. I'm going to go to the song that I didn't even realize that David Lee Garza had recorded. I had no idea until I asked him. I asked him when I put out Pero Eso No, which he recorded the accordion on when my dad was still here. I asked if he could do a promo, and then I heard my dad's song in his background, and I was like, "That's my dad's song. I know my dad's songs. That's my dad's song." But it wasn't my dad singing. I was like, "Who is that?" I did not realize that David Lee Garza had recorded this song. There's so many songs that I did not realize that other people have recorded. It's not just Ya Te Vi, it's Con Dinero No, it's Ay Potente, No Me Culpes, Di de Qué Color with Jaime de Anda, so many other songs that other people have recorded that I didn't realize. So this is the original Con Dinero No. It's almost time. And the wind is acting up.
Porque no tengo dinero, dices que con otro te vas. Dices que él te compra muchas cosas, lo que quieras y más. Dices que el dinero compra todo, pero pronto verás que el amor que dejas con dinero no lo vas a comprar. Con dinero no lo has de comprar. Con dinero no lo has de comprar. Porque no tengo dinero, dices que con otro te vas. Dices que él te compra muchas cosas, lo que quieras y más. Dices que el dinero compra todo, pero pronto verás que el amor que dejas con dinero no lo vas a comprar. Con dinero no lo has de comprar. Con dinero no lo has de comprar.
And that was Con Dinero No, a song that was re-recorded by David Lee Garza. So that was cool. Otra canción, muchas canciones de Juan Guerrero fueron grabadas por muchos otros artistas. atrás del tiempo fueron muchas canciones. ah, desde los 70s a una canción que grabó en Falcon Records, ah, Rayé tu nombre. Lo grabaron los Babies de México, un gran banda de reconocida en México. ¿Qué más? And I'm speaking in Spanish porque le quiero saludar también a todos mi familia, amigos y gente de música del otro lado del charco, porque mucha de la música que quizás ustedes han escuchado, quizás no saben que mi papá la escribió. Una de las canciones que se fue bien raramente de música que escribió mi papá para Ramón Ayala. Bueno, aquí está eh, el proceso, cómo sucedió. Ramón Ayala grabó ¿Qué más quieres, corazón? Y luego Ramón Ayala grabó Ya te vi. Y luego, quisiera, si alguien ahí conoce a Ramón Ayala para corroborar la historia, yo sé lo que me dijo mi padre, pero quisiera que el Señor nos platicara también su parte o cómo fue que Ramón Ayala le pide música a Juan Guerrero y Juan Guerrero le escribe canciones. A estilo Ramón Ayala, una de las canciones, Jardín Olvidado. Bueno, ya Ramón Ayala había grabado ¿Qué más quieres, corazón? Y ya había grabado Ya te vi. Entonces papi le manda Quisiera tener alas, Jardín Olvidado, El Tuerto y ahorita no me acuerdo otra canción. Pues fueron varias. Y una canción en particular se fue de Ramón Ayala a banda. Bueno, muchas bandas hacen covers de Ramón Ayala, ¿verdad? Esta canción en particular, Jardín Olvidado, se fue demasiado. Y créeme lo que fue algo inesperado para nosotros a darnos cuenta que lo que sucedió con esa canción, todavía es difícil a creer cómo. Miren, voy a enseñarles algo. Voy a poner Jardín Olvidado en YouTube. El título que mi papá escribió, ¿ok? Y vamos a ver. Aquí les enseño. Jardín Olvidado, 37 millones de vistas con Remy Valenzuela. Otro con Remy Valenzuela, 3.9 millones de vistas. Jardín Olvidado con Ramón Ayala, 1.6 millones de vistas. Un mix de Jardín Olvidado. Jardín Olvidado con Los Rieleros, 878,000 vistas. Un live, 9 millones de vistas. Jardín Olvidado con Remy. Jardín Olvidado con Los del Arado. Jardín Olvidado con Grupo Estopa. Jardín Olvidado, 2.4 millones con Banda La Peña. A ver. Están Karaoke, Jardín Olvidado. Jardín Olvidado con Banda La Peña. Jardín de Olvido, no sé si es igual. Jardín de Olvido. Jardín Olvidado con Contacto S. No más. ¿Qué tanta gente ha grabado el Jardín Olvidado? Y pues qué orgullo que fue algo que crió mi papá en mi casa, en la sala, yo escuchando otra canción que escribió mi padre para el señor Ramón Ayala fue El Tuerto. Y vamos a ver qué sale. Ok. Sale Michael Salgado, El Tuerto. Los Palominos, El Tuerto. Ramón Ayala, El Tuerto. Yo estaba ahí cuando papi grabó la canción, cuando la compuso. Y nos tocó la canción. Y créeme que estuve chille, porque tan bonita la canción, tan triste y bonita la canción. Ay, tenía un don mi padre para esto. Y bueno, ya es las 12:01. Ya es el cumpleaños de mi papá. So I say it to the wind, I say it to the heavens. Happy birthday, Father. I miss you. I miss talking to you. You are my best friend. You are my biggest supporter. You were the best dad. I still hold on to a lot of the messages that we had. A lot of the silly messages we would send each other, memes. I miss laughing with you, Father. I miss laughing with you. I miss laughing with you. I miss you checking up on us. I miss you calling to see how we're doing, ask what's going on. I miss your advice. I miss your hugs. I miss you being here on earth. I know you're with us. I feel you. I feel you when I go on the road, when I travel. I feel like I just converse with you. I feel you're right there. You're literally on that empty seat in the passenger side where you used to sit. I feel you there. I know you're there. I want you to know that I'm working, and you know that I'm working really hard to keep your music going, to let people know that didn't know what you did on this earth. Let them know, let them hear your music. So much beautiful music that you made. I'm working on helping to make sure the genre that you help create still be relevant, and that the newer generations know what it was and feel pride in it, and feel pride in this music, and feel pride in themselves, like what you showed us, to be proud of what we would do. I'm still trying to make you proud. That was always my life's goal. And so I continue to try to make you and mommy proud. El día que tú naciste, nacieron todas las flores. May 2nd is your birthday, the day you were born. Juan Guerrero forever. At least while I'm here on earth. No muere el que se va, solo muere el que se olvida. y jamás te olvidaré, papi. Estás en mi alma, en mi corazón. I wake up thinking about you. I go to bed thinking about you. I miss you. I miss mommy. I miss Juanito. Me and Mary Lou miss you guys. Sometimes it's hard to believe what happened. It's hard to believe that y'all are gone. It almost seems impossible, like a crazy nightmare. How could we have been a family, a close family, and love each other so much? And you all be gone. It's hard. But we've been strong. We break down, but we get ourselves back up again. And we'll continue doing this. I know you know what Mary Lou's doing in San Antonio right now, because the legacy continues with me, with Mary Lou, with Mikey, with Brianne. Still can't believe you're gone. Really? Puppy. I promise you that I will continue. I promise you. That everything you did on earth will have been worthwhile. I love you. That's how we go on. To everybody that joined me, thank you. To everybody that knows the pain of losing a dad, you understand. I guess I'll end with a song. Let's see. What will I go out with? And there's so many songs. So many songs. Just scrolling through here. Do I still have it on? Let me scroll. I'm just scrolling through Chicanos. And guys, if y'all are looking for music, there it is. There's plenty of music from Juan Guerrero. Plenty of music. Sufre Señora, maybe. Oh, this one. I like this one. Oh no, it's just a clip. That's a really good one. I know. I can't even type anymore.
Vámonos donde nadie nos conozca, corazón. Nada más tú, mi alma y yo, y que el sol y el viento nos acompañen. Vámonos a buscar un nuevo amor. Y cuando el tiempo se acabe, le decimos adiós sin llorar a esa mujer que quisimos y que nunca vamos a olvidar. Vámonos, porque aquí ya nos quiere. La canción que era de ella se acabó, y quizás hallemos un rinconcito, corazón, nada más tú, mi alma y yo.
And I started at 10, I think 10:30. When did I start? And it's midnight, and it's Papi's birthday. And this was a tribute to him, celebrating his life, celebrating the beautiful journey he had on this earth, celebrating all the beautiful music he made. There's no way for me to have on one show all the music de Juan Guerrero, because it's a lot. But just a few. I recommend you go out there and go to YouTube, listen to Los Chicanos, pick a song. If you're an artist, record it. Why not? Keep my dad alive. That's what I'm doing. That's what you would do if it was your dad, I think. I'm blessed. I'm blessed to have had the love of a father, the love of a mother, the love of a brother, and now they're all together in heaven now. And at least they're together. Rejoice in that they're all together. And me and Mary Lou hang out here on earth to remember them. It's hard to say goodbye, even on here. May you all have that love. May you all be blessed with this love that my family instilled in me. At the end of the day, nothing else matters. Nothing else matters but the love from your family the love of good friends, true friends, and the love of self, and the love of life. I wish this for all of you guys listening. I wish this for everybody. Because at the end of the day, what I'm grieving is the not being able to pour out the love I have for my dad in a hug, in a kiss, in a laugh. So I share it with you guys. God bless everybody. It's time to go. See you later.